I encourage everyone to take a moment and breathe and take a tea cheers with a Jiri tea. A Jiri tea recognizes the beauty in shared stories and shared opportunities. Ajiri sources award-winning tea from Kenya, employs women in the region to handcraft the labels, and sends 100% of the profits back to the region to support orphan education. Save 10% on your order of Kenyan teas and coffee with the code BeautifullyHuman at ajiritea.com. AJIRIT.com. Tea mugs up. Hello and welcome to the Beautifully Human podcast. I'm Nick Sheesby. In this podcast, I speak with beautiful humans from all around the world, sharing with you their incredible stories, revealing the power in every human story, to spread love and humanity to a world that is in desperate need of it, to show that we can all connect in beautiful ways, no matter where we come from or what we look like. What you will find out is that we are all beautifully human. Let's all be beautifully human. Hello and welcome to the Beautifully Human podcast. Today I am chatting with Lois Hollis, and we're talking about something that is prevalent in every single person's life and that we all need to come to a reckoning with. I'll let her tell you all about it. But if you enjoy this podcast, follow us on Spotify and on Instagram at the Beautifully Human Podcast. Rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. It helps us out so much. And yeah, enjoy this episode.
I work with someone from Pakistan for doing my tech. It's just wonderful. I'm so blessed with this person who helps me out. He's a teenager. That's why it works. You know, the tech.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Okay.
Yep.
So anyway, his family, who's in the tech world, said, I gave a compliment. I said, you know, he's helping me so much. I'm so thankful. Just want to let you know Errol's good. Do you know what he writes back to me? He says, thank you so much because he is learning so much from your wisdom. And then they said, I pray to Allah to give you good health, long life, and your shadow may remain on all of us, your children, your grandchildren, forever. Isn't that beautiful?
That's so beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
I was like crying.
Lovely. Yeah. That's a brilliant message to get. It's just fantastic.
You know, going along with what you're saying, you know?
No, I think that's a powerful message to share. Because it connects us. It shows that wherever people are in the world, we can still connect with them. Because there still is that wisdom that you can give. There's the heart. And we can connect on that. And it doesn't matter where the person's
that's where
from.
We're connected. And he's so good. And I'm really good, but I don't know what he knows. And you don't know what I know. And
exactly. Well, that's the beauty of all of us. So yeah, I love starting these off with just the broad overarching question that you control. Tell me a story of your life.
My story of my life is I'm very blessed, happy to be here on this earth because I decided that God has a lot of angels in heaven. He needs some here on earth. So I'm one of the earth people helping out heaven, and heaven's helping me. And it's a nice partnership we have. So how did I get so much feeling of spirit? Well, unbeknownst to me, somewhere in my 50s, I'm 77. So somewhere in my 50s, I remembered that I had a near-death experience in childhood from abuse.
Oh, wow.
So my neck was broken. Well, you died.
Wow.
And yeah, it was not a happy childhood. But anyway, I only remember little bit pieces of it. I just remember these beings that have always been with me.
That's
It
amazing.
just is. I mean, I'm not talking religion or whatever. It just
Right.
is what it is. Uh, and I never knew any better because, I guess we were telepathic.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I never knew any differently until somewhere in my 50s, I became extremely depressed.
Hmm.
And that's unusual because I had three beautiful children and I was a very accomplished nurse. I'm like a trailblazing person.
Yeah.
So I kind of like start things. Why? Because that's what I do.
Yeah.
I
Somebody's got to.
started, somebody's got to. I started the first kidney hemodialysis unit in the country in Philadelphia, Jefferson Hospital.
It's amazing.
And then I started all the instructions across the country, on how to do it, how to
Hmm.
teach people on home dialysis. Then we had a hepatitis epidemic in the unit, and I helped, curtail that. And so that started another speaking engagement. So I've always been on the forefront of things. I created a organization called the National Nurses and Technician Hemodialysis Nurses and Technicians, etc. Anyway, so I worked with open heart surgery in the 60s. So I mean, it's like I've always, and I was I'm a nurse forever. So I went out of tropical medicine somewhere uh, in the 80s after being a lifelong,
Hmm.
devotee of medicine,
Yeah.
um, and married to a doctor and knowing all our friends were doctors. And Lois walks out and says, I can't get healed through you guys. And someone said, go to a chiropractor. And I said, what is that? So
Yeah.
anyway, so I've always sort of been, the first one to do it
Yeah.
kind of thing. And so where did I start with that one? Oh, okay. So in my own healing, I did therapies, like talking to, therapists, and that's what you do. Well, I didn't want to commit suicide anymore. So that was a step up,
Yeah.
but I still wasn't happy. Like, I was like, okay, everybody can, I think, feel that one. I'm going through the day. I'm okay, but I'm really not excited about
For sure.
anything,
Absolutely.
especially in this world today.
Yes.
So I got really tired of talking to therapists. So I said, I'm going to talk to Lois instead.
Yeah.
So I start talking to depression. Hi, depression. How are you? Thank you so much for talking to me as I'm
Yeah.
in my depression.
Yeah.
And they start talking back to me. Hi, anxiety. How I don't give a darn. And okay, I'm not talking like mental illness, schizophrenia. I'm talking
Sure.
about a
Sure.
feeling that we all have. We all talk to ourselves.
Of course.
So I'm just making my talking to myself more organized.
Right.
And all of a sudden, I start learning about shame and guilt.
Yeah. Those
Uh,
are big ones.
because someone said to me, Lois, what do you do about shame? And I go, oh, what an odd word. I don't know. So I started doing some investigating, and this is again in the 2001 or two, something like that. I had an investigative mind. I got to kind of figure it out. So Jack Bradshaw was the only one that really had anything to say. He said it's a sickness of the soul. And I said, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then through my wonderful blessing of being able to talk to other dimensions, I was receiving new knowledge about shame and guilt. And once I understood what the truth is, which is not out there, and I can tell it to you,
Mm-hmm.
I healed because I was so excited. Finally, in my life, I became excited because I didn't have to be heard anymore. I was actually like singing and dancing because I'm like so super sensitive. If you throw shame on me, I'm going to start crying
Yeah.
and don't know what to do about it. Like we all do. Some of us internalize it and someone of us just cry and walk away, or some of us just get depressed.
Yeah.
So I did them all.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't have to go to therapy for depression. I don't have to go for therapy for anxiety. I don't have to go for anger. I just have to get rid of shame and guilt.
Mm.
Oh my God. Isn't
Yeah.
that awesome?
It's amazing. Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah. I think so many people, I know so many people have those in their lives and just don't ever deal with them. It just becomes part of them and then they just push it away or just don't think about it. But those are massive, massive, massive ones to carry.
Well, we all have them. So is
Yeah,
it okay if I diverge from my life and talk more about the shame guilt?
absolutely.
Because I'm I'm here to my job is to share information to help humanity because we need this information, and that's my service.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to spin your head around 180 degrees.
Deal. I'm in.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
in.
Okay. Now we all know about light and love and goodness. How does that feel? Oh man, I'm cooking, right? I'm self-esteemed. I can, during the pandemic, I can still walk outside and have fun and kick this around. And I love people. And someone gave me a beautiful sandwich and I'm eating that. And, you feel good about you. I mean, there's an inherent goodness that we feel.
Yeah.
And that's readily accessible. And you're like, give me more of that. Then we have a negative energy that comes into us. Okay, the negative energy is called shame guilt. I don't call it shame and guilt. I call it shame guilt.
Yeah.
That's the negative energy, or you want to call it goofy, or um, um, the monster, or whatever name you do. But we got to call it what people are used to.
Yeah.
So I call it shame guilt. Now, why do I call it shame guilt, not shame and guilt? Because shame's in the unconscious mind and guilt's in the conscious mind.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can all relate.
Yeah.
And there are many, not many, but the theories out there, and I call them theories because they're not proven. Shame is bad, guilt is good. We need guilt to be moral. I think most people feel that. And I'm saying, hey, can we just get away from that guilty stuff? And I'm on this podcast because it's the right thing to do.
Right.
I'm not going to feel guilty if I stand them up. I'm going to feel not good because it's the wrong thing to do. You don't do that to somebody.
Right. Right.
Not because I feel guilty. So I'm asking people, can we just up the game a little bit into our integrity?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and do it because it is integrous, not because, oh, I'll be so guilty if I don't do it.
Yeah.
Now, why is this important? This is important because it breaks your brain apart. Shame is bad, guilt is good. So you'll never solve the puzzle because you can't put it together. Your brain's separate. We actually separate it. Now, why does the culture do that? Now, I'm a nurse like forever. Started at 12 years old as a nurse's aide. So we're talking like I know the medical field. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't do surgery, but I know what makes it tick. So if you have a bacteria in your brain, they call it meningitis. Okay,
Yep.
if you have the same bacteria in your lungs, they call it pneumonia. If you have the same bacteria in your liver, they call it hepatitis.
Mm.
If you have the same bacteria in your joints, they call it bursitis. If you see where I'm going with this,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, so we have all these diseases, and that could not all of them, but a lot of them are the same, but they have different names.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good for billing purposes.
Right. Very good.
Okay. Okay. Now, on the psychology field, I have the book up here. It's the DSM codes
Mm,
that they code for billing: depression, anxiety, OCD. Not even, there's 400 of them. So,
sure. Yeah.
and you can imagine, right?
Yep.
And they're all shame based.
Yeah. Totally. Very shame based.
So, oh, I have anger. We're working on my anger. I says, well, you can for a few years, but you'll never figure it out until you do the shame guilt that's fueling the anger.
Mm, yeah.
So I think everybody kind of knows this, but never really put it together.
Right. Yeah. I don't think they think about it that in that way.
Yeah. So now you know why I say shame guilt.
Right.
Now I get people that come to me and they says, "Ah, I can't get rid of my guilt. I've been trying to do it for like 10 years and I'm tired of it at age 50, I don't want to do this anymore." And I said, "You're right. You will never ever get rid of the guilt feeling unless you get rid of the shame that's causing it."
Mm,
So, with that notice, I hope your listeners can understand and don't feel real guilty because they took the $1,000 course or the $5,000 trip to who knows who and swam in the waters of whatever with the dolphins, and they still have guilt.
yeah.
So I'm not saying they're bad. I'm
Of
just
course
saying
not.
that you're not going to get rid of guilt until you get rid of the shame. And I'm telling you, you're exactly right. You never will.
Yeah.
I, I'll bet you money on that one.
Yeah. Well, because it's constantly pushed back to you. There's so
Exactly.
much shame out there. I mean, you
Yeah.
name it. You didn't do this, or you are this, or
There's
I mean,
400 diseases.
bazillion. Yeah.
There's 400 diseases in this book, and they all were shame based. So I'm going like, why don't you just get rid of the shame guilt? It saves you like 10 years of therapy and a couple $1,000 or $1,000,000. Who knows?
Yeah.
So that's where I am.
That's powerful work. I love that you're doing that.
And that's self-healing. I'm not saying that therapy is wrong. I'm just saying
Oh, of
that
course.
this is a self-healing technique that we can do. Because why? We're beautiful humans that have the integrable ability to help ourselves. God made us this way. God made us to self-heal. Okay, you still need your nutrients and you still need this and that and so forth and so on. I'm talking about this aspect of life.
Yeah. Well, and I think what goes along with that is it is such a beautiful part of self empowerment that people lose, that you don't have that power, or you can't take that power back. You have to go, and like you said,
Elsewhere.
it's not a bad thing to go to somebody and talk to them. That's good for you. But to get to that point where that's super helpful is you have to get that power back to you. You have to look at yourself and say, I can do this.
Now, what I do is that I have the tools to tell you how to do it. Okay. And I don't care how it got broken. We could spend 5 years on your life,
Sure.
but can someone just tell me how to fix it? So that's me. I'm the one that says, okay, this is how you fix it because we can do it.
Yeah.
Now, what happens when this negative energy called shame guilt, or what happens to a virus negative energy that comes into your computer? What happens?
It fails.
It fails. I mean, like it fails miserably.
Yeah.
Like the Microsoft Word doesn't work and you press a V and it comes up as an R. I mean, like,
Right, right.
I think we all can relate to
Yeah.
that. And that's, we are a computer.
Mhm.
We have a crystalline structure.
Yeah.
We are a computer. I'm not getting into that because I am not the tech person of the world. But I understand that if you mess up a computer system with a negative force, a virus, or whatever you call these things, or an influx of something that makes it go goofy. It doesn't work properly, no matter what you do.
Right.
Now, this negative energy called shame guilt was put upon humanity. It's not who we are. We do not need it. It's an energy. Now, what does that energy do to us, the computer?
Nothing good.
Okay, so what does it do? It affects our whole system, like the virus does your whole system, Microsoft Word and internet and all your files and your downloads, right? It does the whole thing. It's not selective.
Right. No.
It just messes, it just
Yeah.
crashes the whole damn thing.
It's just coming at you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming at you. It's going to get you. It's going
Yeah.
to get everything.
Yeah.
It's so 100% perfect.
Right.
Okay. So when the negativity of shame guilt comes into our emotion, we have physical, we have mental, we have emotional, we have spiritual. So what happens when it comes into our emotional body? It turns our positive emotions to negative ones. Each emotion has a positive orientation and a negative orientation. So when it goes into our compassion from the love energy, it turns it to depression. When it comes into our intuition, it turns to anxiety. When it gets into our passion, it turns into anger.
Yeah.
So that's all you got, it just turns everything negative.
Yeah. And it can happen
Okay.
so quickly.
Oh, it's instant. Oh,
Yeah.
it's instant. Like, well, isn't the virus? I mean, like I'm typing and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
it's instant.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's instant. Energy. We are energy. We are energy. Now, also, we have the meridian lines within us, our energy lines. I think most people are aware that there is an energy system within us. I think some energy healers use the work on the energy field, etc. So when it hits their energy field, it turns our stomach not working properly because you feel that in your gut. You can feel that not feeling good.
Oh yeah.
And it turns your liver not working as well. So it predisposes your physical body to disease.
Yeah.
It's like the first responder, if you knew what I mean.
Yeah.
It, it,
Totally.
it's, it sets it up for, it becomes now vulnerable because it's distorted out of its healing. See, we're healing people. And when you just knock it out of this healing cycle, it's sensitive, vulnerable to disease.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have the mental body. When the energy comes into our mental consciousness, it causes confusion. When you're very confused, you're in shame guilt because it occupies more of your brain than your logical mind. It kind of like covers it. When I've worked with people, at the end, when they get rid of a lot of the shame guilt they're carrying, I don't know if we can ever get rid of it all, but it gets less and less and less.
Yeah.
They get smarter. Why? Because the shame guilt is in competition with your logical brain.
Right.
Now, there's technically, I can talk about the different parts of the brain, but that's not going to help you. I'd like to make it more user friendly.
Sure.
And that always know that the shame guilt energy is in competition with your logical mind thinking. Do you ever lose focus? etc. It's the shame
Yeah.
guilt. You're always pushing against it. And of course, we can always be positive, but it's a hell of a fight if you keep fighting negativity. You're
Yeah.
just fight. So I'm like, can we get rid of the competition?
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be much nicer up there if you get rid of that shit.
And that's exactly what it is. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, now we got the spiritual body. Now, what does it do to us? The spiritual body, again, it's in competition with our ability to um, see, um, talk, religion, God, spirit. We have, like, let's say God has a walkie talkie and you have a walkie talkie, and the shame guilt is like static on the line.
Hmm. Yeah.
Now, in Sedona, I worked with a lot of people that channel, and they're beautiful people. And once we cleared some of the shame guilt, their channeling became so much clearer.
I bet.
And it makes sense.
Totally.
Like,
Yeah. The way you said it, of just the competition, it makes so much sense because, especially in this time that we've all had, there's just been that battle of, do I do something? Do I feel guilty because I didn't do anything today, or did I accomplish? And it just keep fighting and battling between all those thoughts of, did I do enough? Did I not? Did I give myself enough time? Did I give myself enough grace with this? It's constant.
should I punish the kids? Should I not? Should they do whatever they want? Da, da, da. I'm going, oh my goodness. I mean, like, I understand. And I've been wanting to talk about this since 2001 or two, but people say, oh, we don't do shame guilt. We don't talk about that. It doesn't exist. Well, the pandemic has upsurged everything because, I think I might have a little bit of that stuff. And I went, yeah, I think so. We all do. Okay.
Yeah.
So how you doing with this information? Because it does turn your head around.
It totally does. And I was thinking about it as you were saying that people finally are looking at it, especially during this time when we have the time to be so introspective and saying, I might have that. And then I'm thinking what's keeping them from admitting it until now has been that shame, the shame of admitting that,
Exactly.
and the guilt for saying that, and then feeling
Exactly.
bad for coming out and saying that you feel this way and you're not fully in charge of everything. And then it's this whole, it's the whole
It's
cycle.
crazy. It's crazy.
Constant. Yeah.
It's constant computer virus.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just haywire up here. Just firing all over the place. Yeah.
And then we have culture saying, oh, well, guilt is good for you. You need it to feel moral and it makes you a better person. I'm going, there's no healthy poison here.
Right.
There's
I've
no
never
good
understood
shame.
that one.
There's healthy shame and there's good shame. And I'm going, you can't make a poison healthy.
Right.
Don't try.
Yeah.
Shame guilt is the most dangerous obstacle in our humanity. And I said, since shame guilt is so prevalent, can we just make it an independent study? Has not anybody done this in all these years since Adam and Eve?
Right.
I'm serious. So someone's got to do this. So I did it.
Yeah. Like you said, somebody's got to. You should.
So anyway, now, what do we do? How do we fix it? Okay. I wish I had a magic wand, but it's still doable.
Yeah, right.
It's still doable. What I want to do today is give people hope.
Yeah.
Because shame guilt does not belong to us. It is not an emotion. It's a negative energy force that turns our emotions around. So you got to fix it at the root, right? What happens if you have a problem with your car? Do you go to the local salesman or the CEO of the company? You go to the CEO of the company, you get results, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to the CEO here. I'm just going to shame guilt, okay?
Yep.
Because I don't fool around with middlemen.
Right.
Yeah,
Not
I
worth the
mean,
time.
ain't worth the time. Hey, we got important things to do in life. I'm just going right to the CEO. So I'm going to shame guilt. energy to get it the heck out of my life because it doesn't belong to us. It's an outside force. So if it's outside of us and we don't need it, guess what? We can kick it the heck out of our lives. So that's the first thing you do when you start feeling the shame, guilt crap. No, it's not of me, or whatever words you can use.
Right.
It's not of me. I'm good. Okay. Now, for every negative thought you have, the experts say we need about 8 good thoughts, positive. Like, man, I'll be like saying the Holy Rosary here, you know?
Right.
So, whatever feels comfortable to you, that's the first thing you do. Okay, well, you can feel that shame guilt energy of like I spiraling down. Blah, blah, blah. No, just know that it's not of you. Is that going to cure it? No, but it's going to get you out of going down the rabbit hole.
Sure.
That's what we have to stop because that's how suicide happens.
Mm-hmm.
It just keeps on going down, 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 down. So first of all, and also at this point, I'm going to say, you know how the AA has sponsors?
Yeah.
To help them. We need shame guilt buddies.
Yeah.
Like you know, like we could be a shame guilt buddy, and you're like, hey Lois, I'm going down the rabbit hole. Okay, no. Oh, okay, I forgot because shame guilt makes you forget.
Totally.
So I would, you know, suggest this to people if they could link up with somebody that's willing to be like a partner and to help each other out because we need help because I can see the shame guilt in you, but I can't see it in myself. Why?
Correct. Yeah.
Because it kind of messes up your mind, right? Because it goes crunk
Yep.
and the CPU doesn't work right. And also I have a Facebook group, the Shame Guilt Stoppers.
I love it.
So people can, it's all free. Come join me. And we already talk about shame and guilt. So don't feel bad.
Don't be guilty.
Yeah, because that's
Don't
all
feel
we talk
guilty. Yeah.
about. That's all we talk about. So anyway, so say no, I'm good. Kind of mentally put that on the side. Then how do you feel? Well, I feel depressed. I feel like not good enough. Take your pencil and your paper, start rating. Hi, I don't feel good enough. Thank you so much for coming to see me. What do you have to tell me? Now, in the beginning, this may not work. You don't really hear anything, don't feel, but keep writing. I want to talk to you because I need to talk to my emotions because your emotions are me. I la da 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 da. It gets you out of the shame guilt trance because it is a trance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking hypnosis here. Hypnosis doesn't work for this.
Right.
It's your conscious mind. We got to make the unconscious conscious. Okay. And that's how we do it. You start working with talking to your emotions, high emotions, da 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 da. So you're talking to someone else and you're not getting down the shame guilt rabbit hole because it doesn't belong to you. There's no healing of shame. So, oh, this is how you heal. You can't heal poison.
Right.
And look at shame guilt as poison. However you can see poison as deadly. How many people committed suicide because of shame?
Too many.
Shame guilt is poison. There's nothing good about poison. You
No.
die. You die. Okay. So you just put that out of the wayside. Now, do you all remember the Wizard of Oz
Oh yeah.
and the all powerful Oz? And
Mm-hmm.
Dorothy's walking up the path. Oh my goodness, I'm so scared. And she's still walking up. And then she pulls the curtain back. And what is it? A little old man with a great big megaphone
Right.
blowing smoke all over the place. Okay. The only defect shame guilt has is it dissolves in detection. How about that one?
I love
Now,
that.
because it has been kept secret. people don't talk about it. They just, we can't talk about it. Makes us feel more shameful. So the more you bring it to the light, the less power it has. The power of it is that it's in the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying, can we just put a flashlight on that and get
Right.
the heck out of it?
Yeah, let's get a
It's
spotlight
only
on
a
that thing.
it's only a friggin' energy.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That messed up my computer of myself.
Yeah.
So get out. I'm doing a what do you call it? Virus removal.
Yeah.
Put in the disk
Right.
virus removal.
Yeah, it's so true. It is, man, the more I think about it, it is just that round robin. I can't talk about it because then I feel guilty about it. And then I feel shame that I did talk about it and someone made me feel bad because I said I had this problem. And then I feel guilty because I had this problem. And now I feel shame because that person thinks I'm a dumbass or whatever I think they think I
Yeah.
am.
And
And
I am, and I
all
feel
these,
like a dumbass. I feel like a
it's like,
dumbass.
yeah. And then it puts you right back around to not talking about it because the one time you bring it up, somebody made you feel awful about it. Or you feel bad about talking about it because you don't want to burden someone. I mean, there's so many ways that
I know.
I've been thinking about it, and it's just like, Jesus, you just how do
I,
you? It's crazy.
it is crazy. It messed up your computer of your
Yeah.
mind and you're malfunctioning.
Well,
You have, yeah.
and so it's there's so many. Yeah, there's just so many ways, and so many ways that society has told you to feel bad about your eating or your habits or your
Your
looks
dressing
or your
or
dressing, your hair's
or
going
your
gray, so
glasses,
diet, your glasses, your
your
shoes,
teeth, your
your
teeth.
teeth, all of it. It's like, good lord. And then the saddest part is when you do
We
try
take,
to talk about it, you just get more of the guilt shame coming straight back around to you.
yeah. So you do this in the talking. You give it back.
Yeah.
It's only an energy, and you
Yeah.
have the power to throw it back to whoever's giving it to you.
Yeah. And I really like how you say when you're feeling that, write to it and speak to it because that
Speak
is
to
super
your
powerful.
emotions.
Yeah,
Speak
to
to your
your
emotion.
emotions,
Not
directly
the
to them.
not the crazy.
No.
Because it's crazy. It's crazy. There's one sentence that's important. You cannot make sense of insanity. Don't try.
Yeah,
Shame guilt is insane.
right. I love that sentence. That's a really good one.
And if someone keeps saying, they should say, I can't make sense of insanity. I'm good.
Right. I feel that way a lot as you said that. I'm like, man, I think that a lot these days. I can't make sense of insanity. That's a good sentence to put to how I feel a lot of the time when
Yeah.
I'm watching the world spin around right now.
And please use it
Yeah,
because,
that's fantastic.
and I refuse to make sense of it because someone was, oh, I don't know. I've used it a few times and I'm trying to help. I said, I can't make sense. I will not even try to make sense of insanity. However, we can talk about this. I don't talk about insanity because it's insane. You can't make sense of insanity. That's why they call it insanity. Duh.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Man, there's so many reasons to talk about these things.
That's why,
And it's
yeah.
so sad that so many people cannot feel comfortable yet talking about even that, how
But
terrible these guilt shames are for people.
but they will.
Yeah.
They will because you know about the 100 monkey theory. Uh,
I don't know if
like
I do.
you and I are talking about this, and then you may talk to somebody else about it, hopefully, or your listeners will talk about it, and then their listeners will talk about it to somebody else. So instead of one person, it's 100 or 1,000 or 2,000, and that starts making a dent against the obstacle of shame guilt.
Yeah. I like that.
It,
Yeah.
because the positive is dissolving the negative, and more people are getting it,
Yeah.
and that's what's happening now around the world. But I don't want to get into the politics, but essentially, we have, that's why I'm so grateful to be on your podcast, because you are another person that
Yeah.
I can share this with, who will give that another boost to
Yeah.
someone else.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't matter if you've got a tech show, you got a trauma show, you got, a success show. Shame guilt's everywhere,
Yeah, and it's relevant.
to everything.
It's an obstacle to all of that, to
Exactly.
all your success, to every different avenue you take in life. It is a massive obstacle to it.
So we will succeed. And when I first went public with my work, I was informed by several marketers who were my friends, or they're still my friends. They said, Lois, you'll never get anywhere saying you're a shame guilt educator. People will just turn you off. And they were. I mean, because they don't talk about it. So can
Right.
you talk about being a happiness coach or a joyful coach or a success coach? I said, no, because unless you get rid of shame guilt, you're not going to be happy. So I can't lie.
Yeah.
I can't lie to people.
That's so true. Right, cuz yeah,
That's
if you're stuck with that, it, your happiness, your success, all of it's going to be stuck.
Yeah. So I can't lie about being a happiness coach, because that's not who I am. I'm a person that gets rid of shame and guilt. I'm shame guilt. See, I still slop. I mean, because we're so culture driven,
Yeah.
and never ever say my shame.
Hmm.
Never own it.
Right.
Remember, it's a
Yeah.
brilliant, dangerous, poisonous, negative energy. Did I
Yeah.
make myself clear?
I think so. I think yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing good can. And then there are some people that say you should be vulnerable. Well, I'm saying if you go into battle without a gun or armor, I don't think that's too healthy. So my yes, be vulnerable, but have the information about shame guilt so that when people throw it at you, you can throw it back. Just don't
Yeah.
go out in life without knowledge,
Right. Yeah, it doesn't
because
get you very far.
well, you're going to be hurt again.
Right.
So I'm the armor. My teaching is the armor for people to get smart, to learn what. So the first thing you have to do is identify shame guilt behavior, because we don't know. We think it's normal behavior. What do
Right.
we know? What
Yeah.
do we know? So I teach what is normal, which is shame guilt behavior. And I have an ebook, 500 questions, one answer.
Hmm.
And it shows you 500 ways we shame guilt ourselves,
Wow.
or it happens to others. So you have to know your enemy.
Yeah.
If you got a poisonous obstacle enemy at you, you better learn its tricks.
For sure.
So that's what you have to do first. Learn the tricks. Then I teach you how to release it, because then you find it, and then you know how to avoid it. That's it. It's a doable situation. But you can't say I release all the shame guilt, because it's hidden in the emotions. And that's why you talk to your emotions,
Yeah.
because they're the ones that carry it, and then they actually get rid of it because we see it. It dissolves in detection.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think that's a really brilliant point to bring up, to talk about it, to dissolve it. Because I think people, as I've said a bunch of times, it's just people just won't, for whatever reasons, don't talk about it.
Well, they're too ashamed to talk about it.
Right.
And that's why I got the shame guilt stoppers, because we only talk about shame guilt. That's
Yeah.
it. So you don't feel odd.
Well, I'm joining in.
Oh, please do. It's only about 2 weeks old, so no, we
Oh,
haven't
great.
gotten too far. So, and it probably go. Oh, my film's coming out of a film.
Oh, fantastic. Tell me about
It's
that.
called I'm Good. That's
Oh,
what it's
yeah, I
called.
did see that on your website. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm making shame guilt visible,
Beautiful.
so you can see how it affects us. Ah, it is a real thing.
Yeah.
and we can kick the real thing out of us.
Yeah. When does it come out?
Probably 2 months.
Okay.
So
That's awesome.
I'll put you on the list. It's
Yes,
going to be
please do.
free and it's going
Okay.
to be on the internet.
Fantastic. That's
So
fantastic. Yeah, I'll put
uh,
I'll put a link to your website and everything, so when people want to follow it and find out when it comes out and stuff,
yeah,
they can look
yeah,
for it.
and the best thing is to get the free ebook
Okay.
because that will help you to see like, oh wow, I never thought about wow. Now it's going to come in 20 segments,
Okay.
20 25 each week. I mean, you can't get 500 questions and answers. I mean, you can, but you're probably like, this lady's goofy.
Yeah.
So
Or
I,
overload your brain in a different way. Your
yeah,
computer brain would be like in a
yeah.
different way.
So it's kind of like on an autoresponder.
Okay.
So people say, I don't want to say, well, but that's how you get the book. So
Beautiful.
it is beautiful. So,
I love that.
and I offer a free 15-minute call if anybody wants to talk to me, because this is something new, because people want to do sessions, but they don't want to sign up for a session because like, this is really different. So
Mm-hmm.
they can call me and talk to me about it. And I make myself accessible. That's,
Yeah, I love that.
well, I have to,
Of
because
course.
somebody has to be, and it's harder because you're paving a road where
Sure.
no road has gone before.
Yeah.
But isn't that the fun?
That's the fun. Yeah. It's no fun not paving a road. It's like going down the same road as everybody else. Go a different way.
Yeah, boring.
Yeah. Life's too short for boring.
And all humans are designed that way. We
Yeah.
all have that. And anyway, so what more can we say?
Yeah. I love that. That's fantastic. It's such a common occurrence in even my life and my mind, and then hearing you talk about it, it's the moments that every time I'm thinking about it, I'm just like, oh, and I'm imagining everyone listening just having those, that little light bulb that comes on and go, oh, I do that, I did,
Oh,
there it is,
yeah.
or even if you're not thinking what I was saying or you're saying, they're in their head and going, oh God, I do that, oh shit, that was, so yeah, I
Nobody
think,
told me
yeah,
it was wrong, or should I
right,
have it? Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's can't make sense of insanity, and that's
yep,
shame guilt energy. And so we
yeah,
just like kick it the heck out.
get out of here, yeah,
I call them the uninvited guests
yeah, yeah, I don't want them
that
around.
that refuse to leave.
Right. Yeah. They're squatters.
Yeah, they're like fish after 3 days, you know?
Yeah. 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 Oh man. That's amazing. Well, that's such a good, it's so good for everyone that will be listening to hear. And I love how you said the 100 monkeys. And I always say the ripple effect of our conversation
Same
ripples
thing.
out into the world. Yeah. And I love, there's so many different iterations. People that I bring on and have a conversation with, they have their way of saying it. Someone said, I put the cups out and the drips, they go. And I'm like, yeah, there's just so many good ways. So I just love that you share this, again, so common in every single human being, and to focus on it and yeah, shine the light on that is amazing. It's such a needed part for everybody, because it also, when you're stuck in that, I know when I'm stuck in those ways of thinking, I'm not accomplishing what I could be.
Because your
I'm not.
brain, you're
Yeah.
struggling, you're
Yeah.
fighting.
and
And if
and
you
I
go to therapy for it, they don't have a solution.
right.
It's not even marked. In fact, there is no thing you can charge for shame guilt, only
Hmm.
for depression or right.
Right.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had people that come to me from 10 years of therapy, healing. They go, I do. If one more person gives me a slip on how to manage my depression, I'm going to kick them.
Yeah.
I want to get rid of it.
Right.
I want to get rid of it. I will not manage it.
Yeah.
I said, okay, let's do the shame guilt work and we'll get rid of it. How does that work? I said, you have to educate people that everything is shame based.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's just a freeing of your mind because it's got such a grip in there that just it's so hard to get out of that. So I love that you're just not saying, let's just smooth it over. Let's get it out of here. Just get rid of it.
And then work on your emotions,
Yeah.
because they're real. Emotions are the life force. Without our emotions, we can't survive.
Right.
We can turn this whole thing around.
Right. Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm standing with you on it. All right. Well, I have a couple random questions for you to end this. I'd love to ask these three to everybody on the podcast. And the first one is very far off from what we were just talking about. But COVID restrictions aside, if I came to you and I had a plane ticket to anywhere in the world, where would you head to?
If you came to say that again,
If I had a plane ticket to anywhere in the
oh,
world,
where would
would
I
you go?
go? I don't know. I don't know. I love I probably would like to go to a place where I can talk to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I would like to be on a major stage
Okay.
talking to millions of people about shame guilt. That's
Perfect.
what I would like. I would like a stage.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't
I
care
work
which
in the music
country.
industry, so I'm good with stages. I can get you. I can
Okay.
get that. I'll help
I
with
want to
that.
stay. I want to stay. I want a platform
Yeah.
where I
Awesome.
can talk to millions of people. That's what I want.
All right. Well, so that leads beautifully into the last two questions. The first one is what would you want the world to know about you?
That I'm for real and I work for God. And I work for God to bring this message to people. I'm the messenger.
Yeah.
That's that's who I am. I'm a messenger.
Yeah.
And God has saved my life so many times. So I can get my message out.
Right. Yeah. All right. And the last one, as after you've flown to your stage and you have the ear of everybody in the whole world, what are you saying to them?
Shame, guilt, energy is negative and is a poison. Don't never entertain it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
And of course, you can't make sense of insanity.
Right. Yeah. You sure as hell won't make sense of that. Won't make sense of it. Yeah. Well, I truly appreciate you sharing that with me. It's made me think this whole time of just
Wow.
wow. I'm just imagining everybody that's hanging out listening to this doing the same thing, even pausing during it and going,
Holy
"Oh god.
shit.
Yeah, holy shit. Oh god, I got to okay. Ugh, all right."
Okay.
Hit play. We'll go along a little more. Oh god. Yeah.
There is hope. And there's no real mental illness. It's just that we've been given the wrong information about shame guilt. So if we get rid of shame guilt, I'm not saying that there isn't mental illness. I'm just saying that that paradigm needs to be changed to shame guilt work,
Mm-hmm.
not chipping at the bid for depression or anxiety or, because you'll never live long enough to heal.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
I don't want to be, I don't want to be 20 and wait till I'm 60 to be
Right.
happy.
Yeah.
I want it today.
Yeah, and I don't want to be medicated to try and be happy either.
Oh, that ain't going to work.
Yeah. That
And we
doesn't
haven't even talked about the inner critic. So that's another time.
right. Yeah. Oh man. Well, again, thank you so much. This has been fantastic. It's so lovely to meet you, and I'm gonna join the Facebook group, and I can't wait to join in with the work that you're doing.
Thank you so much. Bless you.
You're very welcome. Bless you as well. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
I
Night.
will.
Afternoon. It's
Evening,
afternoon.
whatever it
Evening.
is.
Whatever it may
Whatever
be.
it is.
And whoever's listening, whatever time of day it is, I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you for listening to the Beautifully Human podcast. To hear more beautiful stories from beautiful humans, follow us on Spotify and rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at the Beautifully Human Podcast. Peace signs up.